So the situation definitely does call to look within yourself to find what makes you happy. Torian, the biggest thing I am going to tell you is honestly figure out what you want. Because right now, it's good to know that you don't know. It's good to know what you don't want, but that's not going to get you to what makes you happy. It's just going to kind of lead you in constant direction where you may feel like, you know, you're just gonna have to settle with one of these, right? So the whole premise of the eight of cups is talking about there being this no tolerance kind of, no settling for less sort of deal. Now, I don't think this person is obviously settling for less, but I really think that your dreams shouldn't take a back burner either. What you want, what are you expecting out of a relationship? Have those down and then be ready to move forward towards that goal. Because right now, it's very clear that you guys have definitely, put in your all in a situation, or you guys are just emotionally drained from having to just put in so much work. Okay. Now, starting off, this side usually by default is you guys, and this side here is your soulmate, but feel free to flip the sides if it doesn't resonate. But we're going to start off with the mind plane, and this helps us get a better idea as to what both parties are thinking going into the relationship. And starting off with you have the Six of Pentacles. So I feel like there is a balance needed, right? I feel like some of you guys believe that there is some things that you guys do better, and the other person does a lot better as well. And I feel like this is encouraging, teamwork. This is encouraging cooperation. But at the same time, I feel like there's still some things that need to be worked out on that. Because what brought you guys together was the Hangman. Nothing was going on in your lives. Things were kind of stagnant. Things were kind of on hold. And it's due to the fact that there is a change of perspective that's needed for y'all. Not because you guys need it, personally, but there's some things that are changing in your lives that's going to require you a new mindset to come through. Right, it's going to require you to have a different sort of take on a situation, or see the world a little differently, especially since, Uranus is making his way right back into your sign. This is about changing your perspective. So the Six of Pentacles, I do think there's a balance that's needed, but obviously what brought you together was definitely to open your minds, to expand, to surrender to something new, and kind of break away from the traditional, right? Break away from what you guys have always, considered to be, truth and all that, right? You guys are revamping your way of thinking. And this person here, the way they think about this relationship, they're ready. They're prepared for it. They're honestly, they've manifested this relationship. I feel like this is something that they've wanted, and they've put themselves in a position to have this. And I feel like this person definitely has a great deal of confidence, because they definitely feel this connection with you. I think they definitely can vibe that. The Six of Pentacles for me can gift, I just feel like there is a balance here. I think you guys do recognize some things that you like, that they do better, or that they do for you, that honestly helps you, grow. But I feel like at the same time, there is still balance needed, but you can work with that. You're willing to work with it. It's something that you guys are honestly trying to, I feel like you guys are aware of what's not balanced here in the relationship, but it's something that you are willing to work through. Now, how you guys are presenting yourself in this relationship is the Five of Cups. So this is how your partner sees you. This is how you present yourself. And same way with the partner, the same way with the soulmate, rather. And it looks like here with the Five of Cups, there is a lot of emphasis on what's not there, what's missing, what's not, what you don't feel like. I feel like for a lot of you guys, the reason why you need this balance is because you don't feel supported. You don't feel like somebody really has your back, or you can truly trust this person, like 100%. Honestly, you guys kind of feel like you guys are not really left picking up pieces, but more of just like not feeling like you have the support that you feel like you need. And it's due to a lot of losses, due to a lot of things that this relationship probably doesn't quite have just yet, but you've had in previous relationships, or you've had in previous situations similar to this. Because there's a lot of emphasis on this loss. And that's how your partner sees you. Now, how the partner is being viewed, how the partner is being seen here is the Ace of Swords. So they're coming into this looking like, coming up with new ideas, open to new ideas, I feel like, especially. But they have they're very clear on who they are and very clear on a particular truth, right? There's just something that's new and open to regarding them. Like, I think this person is introducing a new way of communicating. Because even though there's a need for balance here, there's a lot of focusing on what you don't have rather than working through it with the relationship here. The focus is not on the connection, which is the Two of Cups, which is behind the Five of Cups here. Right? You see where it's at. So this person may be introducing a new way of communicating to you guys, or this person here is working on their communication as well. Because with the Ace of Swords, that's a new beginning. That's new ideas. That's new way. That's a new perspective, and they may be, they may be open to a new perspective, or you may be introducing them to a different perspective, especially when it comes to the balance. Again, it's so interesting how this reading is being played out right now, because both of you guys seem to be getting something from this Ace of Swords, and both of you seem to be getting something out of this Five of Cups. And how that works together, it may be a little bumpy, only because there is a slight resistance here. But this is ultimately to kind of get a stable, get to some sort of stable ground here. What's interesting to me, though, is that in your spiritual plane, which is kind of gives us a bit of background as to why everyone's thinking the way they think and feeling the way they feel, or thinking the way they think and presenting themselves the way they are, is the King of Swords for you. And the King of Swords, that does talk about knowing your truth, knowing where you stand, and being. It can't be being stubborn, because the King of Swords is not necessarily open to new perspectives and new ideas. This person communicates their truth and knows who they are through and through. And it feels like there's some things that are missing here. Obviously, because of the dynamic, not just because of the dynamic of the relationship is not that great. But it looks like to me, guys, that the King of Swords is coming up because there's some things emotionally missing from this King of Swords. Somebody is detached in this relationship. It's almost like this person isn't looking at love to figure out why they don't have these emotions. It's almost like they're looking at everything that they've gone through, everything that they've lost, instead of looking at where they can get that exact thing right back, where they can invest time and energy toward it. They're looking at everything that they don't have. And what I feel like what this King of Swords is doing is that, really, is one, a protector for you. I think you guys have your protective mode on. And then at the same time, I feel like it's been, something's detached. Somebody is detached in this situation. Somebody's not looking at how they feel. No one is looking at how they feel. The Eight of Cups is walking away from a situation. And of course, you're going to, with the Hermit underneath, this is definitely a personal thing. It's not physically walking away, but it's definitely talking about being emotionally done with something. You're emotionally done with a situation. And it looks like you're trying to figure out what this ninth cup would be, because this is what you're doing in the Eight of Cups, right? You're emotionally done with the situation, and you're going to find your absolute happiness, which is the ninth cup. And you're looking in the past, or looking at with things that have already been down, right? And it's like this is sort of detaching and being logical, when actually there's a calling for you to be emotional, to express your emotion, to know what, to be emotional, period. Because I think there's a calling for you to be emotional here. The King of Swords is never emotional. And it's because you're protected, you're protective of yourself. So you detach from the situation, and it almost neglects how you feel, because instead of just allowing yourself to feel, and just not necessarily being reactionary, but just to kind of let those emotions flow through you, you take the stance of detaching and logically trying to solve the problem when it's not a problem that logic can solve. Now the other person's got the Four of Swords, and I feel like it's interesting because the Four of Swords talks about a break or a period of time that was spent solo or alone to kind of reflect or to look within the self. And I kind of feel like with this individual coming up here with this sort of energy, I kind of feel like it's interesting. It's really one hell of a curveball because it kind of doesn't really. I mean, it makes sense. This person may have taken time to really reevaluate and think things through, right? To figure out what they want, figure out what their truth is, figure out where they stand by, and it makes sense that this person definitely manifested or is feeling more confident about pursuing this relationship due to either of time apart, time away from each other, a resting period, but also this person shows the Ace of Swords. They're coming in with a new perspective. They're coming in with a new way of communicating, a new way on new ideas. And it's because of a period of rest, a time period of taking a break or taking a moment away. It's interesting. I'm going to actually pull on that. Why is the Four of Swords coming out for the spiritual plane? The Ace of Swords, yeah. Okay. So somebody took the time out to really think things through, and they came up with a different truth. I think they came up with a truth here. They definitely reflected. That's what that shows. This person took time out to really reflect on who they are, what their truth is, and they're walking their truth in this situation. Right? So it's interesting, right? This person definitely took time out, and I think they're definitely using what they know about themselves, what they know about relationships and or their side of the story, whatever. I think they're open-minded here, and they're trying to integrate this perspective into their lives, not just relationship-wise, but also just like full circle. Because the obstacle that you guys are facing here is, or the challenge that you face, is the King of Pentacles. Stabilizing, investing, dedication, commitment, longevity, knowing one's value, stabilizing, seriously. And I feel like the thing is that, yeah, of course, what brought you guys together was a change in perspective, or the hangman, right? A period of stagnancy. Nothing was going on in your lives, and there was a change that was initiated, and now the King of Pentacles seems to be someone that's willing to settle down and stabilize. Right? What does this... And I feel like the hangman is actually... This person coming into life is honestly here to restructure the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles is stickler when it comes to routine and repetition. And I feel like what this person is doing is coming into your life after a period of stagnancy, right? Nothing happening, nothing moving, and bringing something new to the table that will ultimately change all aspects of you, Taurus. This person here is going to change you through and through, in and out. You know what I mean? They're going to inspire a change, but it's going to take some fight through the stubbornness, and I think this person's got what it takes. So let's go ahead and take a look-see at your Messenger Oracle cards. You were born to create. And that really talks about us being, literally co-creators of this universe, right? We are, we are the creators of our existence here. We can create more things. It doesn't have to be children, but our reproductive systems are literally, even from a scientific and fundamental standpoint, those are our creative organs in the sense of making life, right? So this is about seeing the potential for something or seeing the potential in yourself, mostly, to expand your life, to expand and move forward, right? Because even though, of course, there was a certain formula that we stuck to for a long time, I realized that I feel like, right, guys, I feel like it's not working anymore. I feel like however you guys have been going down with your life, you have realized it hasn't been working, and it's time to change it up. You got the Five of Cups there, and I feel like it's about finding what truly satisfies you and not just accepting what doesn't. Because you'd rather have something versus nothing. And you do have something. You always have had something. And the magician works with the tools he has. While this person's looking at how they can't proceed without these things. But the thing is, they don't need those things to proceed. They just need the love that's in their heart and their desire to create. Because love, it inspires creation. And I feel like when your heart light is on, you'll be able to turn that light switch on. That creative light switch. But until then, there's a lot of detachment. Even this person, I think there's a lot of detachment. I think there's recognition of there being detachment. Of course, to protect yourself, to protect what's yours. But this may not be you. This is not you. This is the King of Pentacles. And you're coming off as the King of Swords here. Whatever you guys have been trying to protect because you love it, it's caused you to detach and deal with what you may not deserve. Which is why the Six of Pentacles is weighing those options, right? Figuring out what's of value to him and what isn't. What is he getting out of the situation? You know? And I feel like this person knows too, and they're figuring it out. And everyone's figuring it out. But the reason why you guys come together is because you guys are both very similar. Wow. I'm going to go ahead and actually read you guys the affirmation for this. For the card for You Were Born to Create. Alright. You were blessed with the ability to create with thought, intention, action, and emotion. Be conscious of your power and aware of what your actions and reactions create within and around you. Cherish this gift and use it in both a wise and productive manner. Create beauty and inspire a desire within others to do the same. Create a future that fulfills and delights. Do what you were born to do. And that said, family, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go.